What's going on, everybody? I'm just going live right now just to talk about the Vasyl Lomachenko versus Richard Commey weigh-in. It starts at 1. It's 12:43 right now. So we'll see. I do have to run to work, so I'll see if I can stay throughout the whole um, weigh-in. But I'm interested in to see how light Vasyl Lomachenko comes in, just how heavy does Richard Commey. Does a fight break out in the press conference? Does anything happen? A lot of stuff happens that is interesting at weigh-ins. So, I just wanted to go live for like an hour or so and see how the weigh-in goes. Hopefully, everybody makes weigh-in. There's no problem. But I can't say that I'm not somewhat hoping for like something to happen. you know, it's always good for boxing when something happens in the weigh-in. It's always good for the promotion. By the way, this I don't know if this is on ESPN Plus or regular ESPN. I think it's on regular ESPN. I'm gonna be at the fight anyways. I actually remember I was telling y'all that I wasn't sure if I was gonna go. I am gonna go, but yeah, I'm just more for you guys. I want to know if this fight is gonna be on regular or ESPN Plus. Hopefully, he's on regular ESPN. I don't think Lomachenko's not that kind of a popular fighter where you put him on ESPN Plus. He's not that guy. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, I honestly don't like the ESPN Plus model only because it's like another the zone. But the only thing is with the ESPN Plus, if you watch other sports, which I do, um, you get all those for free. You got all of those for free, like free articles as exclusive articles, and so ESPN Plus is a good setup. Just I feel like people have a time figuring it out. I feel. Hold on, I'm trying to sign into my ESPN Plus because that's where the weigh-in's gonna be. And since that's where the weigh-in's gonna be, I want to be signed in. So as soon as they start weighing in, I can inform you guys and keep you guys up to date as to what's going on. So, hold on 1 second. I probably should have did this before I went live, but it's all good. Not many people on live just yet. So let's see. All right, I'm all signed in. Let me put the link in the comment section in case anybody wants to call in. I'll take some call-ins. Again, I'm only gonna be on here for like an hour. So if you guys want to call in, you guys have limited amount of time, especially once the weigh-in starts. I'm gonna have to the main event weigh-in, the undercard we could talk through that. As far as the main event, we're gonna have to cut that short. But hopefully you guys call in. I'm looking forward to it. You guys know I love going live, man. I love going live more than I love making my videos and predictions and all that. Just because live is a more personal thing. And also I could think off the cuff. I feel like a lot of times when I make the videos, like, I'm kind of like have time to process and this and that. I like thinking off the cuff because even if sometimes I go, oh, that doesn't make sense or this and that, as I'm talking it out, I can get to where I want to be. I can get to where my opinion is just by talking it out. Also, bouncing some ideas off you guys. Sometimes I see you guys in the chat active, or sometimes one of you guys will call in and say something, and I'll be like, oh, you know what? You're right. I'm going to think about it that way. So a lot of times I'll do that. But yeah, lot of buzz, a lot of buzz for this fight because we just had all these lightweight fights back to back to back to back. We just had Tio versus Cambosos, Tank versus Isaac Cruz, Devin versus Jojo Diaz, and now we're getting Loma versus Commey. And it's like boom, boom, boom. All these lightweights fighting back to back to back to back. And it's like, all right, who's gonna be the last man standing? Is the WBO gonna mandate Vasyl Lomachenko for Cambosos? Is Devin Haney going to fight Cambosos for undisputed? Is Tank Davis going to surprise us and fight a top 5 fighter who's not a PBC fighter? Or is he going to stick to the fighting Rolly and, all these other PBC guys who we're not interested in? Also, you got to add the variable of, is Ryan Garcia going to come back? And does he come back right away? Does he fight a Kambosos? Does he fight a Devin Haney right away, or does he take a tune-up? And is this tune-up what? Isaac Cruz? Is it Jojo Diaz? Is it Jorge Linares? Is it Javier Fortuna? Is it William Zepeda? There's a bunch of lightweights where he can come back where it's not quite, the top of the class like a Kambosos or a Tank or Devin. But, there's a lot of tough lightweights. And, for somebody who's coming back from a hand injury where it's a good tune-up fight, and then you can go fight, let's say, a Devin Haney. And to be honest, that's the fight I really want to see, man. Get the two young guys to fight. Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia. Get those two guys to fight. I don't understand what's the problem. They're both not there at their man strength, but it looks like Ryan Garcia is clearly the harder puncher. So if he's dropping dudes, and Devin Haney doesn't have enough power. Also, we seen him get touched up a bit against Jojo Diaz, specifically to the body. He got touched up to the body. Yeah, bro. That's how it always starts. Bro. It starts off like this, and then I get a bunch of people. So I'm not too stressed about it. That's boxer. You can hop on if you want. Hop on. I got the link pinned to the top of the chat. Yeah, man. But anyways, that motherfucker threw me off. And what was I saying? Oh yeah, that they all fight within, so they just need to fight. Oh, I was talking about Ryan Garcia. That's what I was talking about. Yeah, Ryan Garcia. I think he has a good chance at beating Devin Haney. Devin Haney's a good boxer, but he's not a great boxer. I don't know. Against Jojo Diaz, he didn't really show me much. He showed me that a little guy, he couldn't stop a little guy. He couldn't drop a little guy. He couldn't hurt him. The guy was there to be hit. You know what I'm saying? The guy was there to be hit. And that 12th round, he got touched up hard. A couple times. He got touched up to the head and body, especially to the head in that 12th round. So that's not a good look, because we all seen how Tio performed in the 12th round against Lomachenko. We all saw how Tank performed in the 12th round against Isaac Cruz. He really stepped it up and outboxed him. And then it's like, Devin Haney, what you do in the 12th round? You got beat up, against a smaller guy. I don't know, man. I don't know. Ranked lightweight 1 through 5 right now. I'm not. The reason why my last live people were asking me that who's the best lightweight and all this. The reason I'm not gonna rank them is because it'll be unfair to Lomachenko right now. Lomachenko is about to fight today. Tomorrow, excuse me. Right after T.O. Kambosos, right after Tank versus Cruz, and right after Haney, Diaz. Those guys are fresh in my mind, how they perform. This guy, Lomachenko, hasn't had a chance to show me his performance. But to be fair, he is fighting the better opponent out of all of them. The only one who could say he faced a better opponent was Kambosos, because he faced Tio, who beat Lomachenko and was the legitimate lineal champion of the division. So besides Kambosos, he had a better opponent than Tank and Devin's opponents. They both. So, for me to say who's the best lightweight right now, it would be unfair. Let's see how he looks this Saturday. What if he gets knocked out? Then obviously I have to put in Commey as one of the players. But if he knocks him out, then I have to, consider, is he number 1, 2, or 3, or 4? Who knows, But I put it like this. The number 1 guy has to be Kambosos. And I don't mean number 1. I mean, like, he's the champion. So he's not even in the rankings. He's the champion. I'll answer it that way. He's the champion. And then who's the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 contenders? Because that's how they have it on Ring Magazine. Let me show you. That's how they have it in Ring Magazine. And I go by Ring Magazine. Like, a lot of people like to go by ESPN rankings or whatever. I go by Ring Magazine. They the Bible of boxing, man. So if they the Bible of boxing, then that's what we going for. They're the one we trust their Ring Magazine title and all this shit. If that's what we doing, then we got to acknowledge them. Hold on one second. I'm gonna share the screen right now. Yeah, I know I love sharing the screen. So you see the lightweight division. You see they got Kambosos as the champion, and then they got Teofimo as the number one contender. So when y'all ask me who's the number one guy, just know I'm never gonna say Kambosos because Kambosos is the champion. So the number one guy, I would be ranking him like this, like oh, he's a champion, but number one is Teo, number two is Vasyl, number three is Devin Haney. So that's how I would be ranking them. So to be honest, that's how I look at it. I go by Ring Magazine, man. That's the type of dude I am. Rolling number one. Come on. Yo, damn. Freddie, come on, my brother. Like, you got to stop that. You got to stop that. Lomachenko, number two. Number three, Javante. Number four, Haney. Number five, Kambosos. Come on, man. All right. Ring Magazine is stupid. They don't even have Javante on there. Laugh out loud. I go by Box Talk 101 rankings. Well, first of all, the rankings hasn't been updated. So that's the reason Javante's not up there, because his last fight before this one was at 140. So he was ranked in the 140. And so, yeah, that's why he's not ranked in the Ring Magazine. I know he just had a fight against Isaac Cruz in the 135-pound division, which Isaac Cruz was ranked number 9. So now we're going to see Gervonta Davis appear on the rankings in the next month ranking system. Yeah, 5 more minutes before the weigh-in starts. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully nobody gets cut, but I'm hoping for something to happen at the weigh-in. I hope everybody makes weight, obviously. But, I hope something happens, somebody gets in each other's face. There's a shoving match. Get the people excited for the fight. I'm excited for the fight. Again, I'm going to the fight. I live in New York. I have the privilege to live in the greatest city of all time. I was at the TO fight a couple weeks ago, and I wasn't going to go to this Loma fight. And then all of a sudden, I saw all these lightweight fights, and then I'm like, damn, man, I want to go to that fight. And then out of nowhere, my brother hits me up. He goes, yo, I bought 2 tickets. I'm going to take a girl, but if you send me the money, you could come with me. I was like, well, listen, if I could get the day off, I'm in there. And I got the day off. So I ended up getting there. And so I'm going to go. Let's keep it 100. Kambosos will be an underdog against any of those guys. Yeah, but he's the champion. He's the lineal champion. You can't take that away from him. He's the lineal champion. So he beat the guy who beat Lomachenko. There's nothing you can say to that. You have to give him credit for that. That's the same thing I was telling people when people were saying, well, Teofimo's not really better than Lomachenko. He just beat him, but he's not better. But it's like, whether you think he's better or not, and you still got Lomachenko ranked as the number 1 lightweight, that's good. That's cool. But as long as you acknowledge Teofimo Lopez as the lineal champion, then that's it. There's nothing you can say or do. You get what I'm saying? That's the way I look at it. That's the way I look at it. So Kambosos is the champion. And is he an underdog against Devin Haney? I don't know. Is he an underdog against Ryan Garcia? I don't know. I honestly, again, I saw this dude, George Kambosos, live. That dude got skills, man. He put up a really good performance against one of the toughest lightweights in the division, one of the toughest fighters in the division. The guy came out real aggressive, and he outboxed him. He outboxed him really good. It's a cool Cinderella story, but Kambosos isn't better than any of those guys. He beat an injured Teofimo. I mean, like, the thing is it's hard for us to be like, how do we know that what Teofimo said was true? How do we know that that injury didn't happen in the fight? How do we know he's not lying? He did a backflip after the fight. You get what I'm saying? He fought a hard 12 rounds. He didn't really gas out. He gassed out maybe a little bit in the 10th and 11th and 12th, but it wasn't like he was exhausted. He was tired from throwing punches, and he fought good. I don't understand why people were accepting that excuse, man. I'm like, listen, man, the better man won. Like, there's nothing you can say. 135 is the best weight class right now, period. Absolutely. Absolutely it is. I give Kambosos credit for what he did. I wouldn't bet on him to beat any other top 135. I mean, Kambosos is the man until proven otherwise. Exactly, Angel. Exactly. Yo, Kambosos, like people are trying to take that win away from him. Oh, Tio, was injured. Oh, Tio should have moved up to 140. Oh, Tio had a bad cut, man, which that part is definitely true. Oh, Tio had bad instructions in the corner. All those excuses are, could be legitimate. But at the end of the day, everybody's dealing with something. Everybody is dealing with something outside of the ring. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. Like I remember playing again. I never was a professional boxer, but I played organized football. Like I played for a team. We had helmets, jerseys, shoulder pads. Like I played for an actual team. I remember in the semifinal game, I had a game-winning tackle, but in that game-winning tackle, it was the hardest hit of the year, by the way. I pinched a nerve in my neck, and the championship game was the next week. I went to the doctor. The doctor told me that I cannot play football for a month. Again, I ignored it, and I still played, and I had a fantastic championship game. So my point is, had we lost, I could have easily been like, oh, well, I had a pinched nerve in my neck, and that's why I couldn't perform to my best of my abilities. It's like, nah, you got in there. Once it's a championship fight, you got to fight with what you got, man. If you got to fight with what you got. I'm not talking about the injury that was reported. Tio had another injury that only some of us knew about. Well, then I'm pretty sure Kambosos had a sprained foot, had a shoulder hurt, had something. Everybody has something going on with him. Everybody. Like injuries happen in the sport. This is boxing. How do you think they prepare for fights? They spar, which is another word for fighting. So they fight to prepare to fight. Yeah, just because they're wearing bigger gloves and they're wearing headgear doesn't mean that those punches don't hurt. Like you could still get hurt. You could still break a hand. You could still break a rib. You could still get cut in those sparring matches. So everybody is hurt in boxing. Nobody goes into a fight 100%. And then that's just a fact. That's why when I made the reasons why Teofimo lost, at no point did I said, oh, anything about injury. The only thing I brought up that could be looked at as like somewhat of an excuse is I did say he's going through a divorce as his wife just gave birth to his daughter, to his son 11 days before. Now, you going through a divorce while you're training for a fight and your wife just gave birth to your kids. Now that I can see somewhat mentally affecting you, but I'm not accepting that. That's the only excuse I'm accepting. Jorge, where you go? I just wanted to finish my point, man. Jorge wasn't waiting. He just dipped on me. Call back, Jorge. Every racer knows it doesn't matter if it's by an inch or by a mile. Winning is winning. I don't know what that means. Domtero voice. I'll take your word for it. Whoever's voice is that. But yeah, it doesn't matter how you win. As long as you win. Just win, baby. Isn't that Al Davis? Al Davis, that was his motto. He from Brooklyn. Oh, ain't you from Oakland? Hold on. I got somebody calling me. What's going on, Hule? How's it going?
What up, brother?
How's it going? You called me before. You don't.
It's going
video,
good,
right?
man. I just wanted to say my opinion, man. To me, man, Tio probably he wasn't focused, man. To me, I feel like he's a very emotional guy, and I feel like he probably had a lot going on with his wife and stuff like that. And I feel like he didn't take the fight serious, man. I feel like he was just not focused, man. I feel like he wasn't determined. I feel like he wasn't as how would I say it? He just wasn't there, man. I feel like he wasn't there. He didn't prepare well enough.
I mean, I think he came in shape, man. I was at the fight live and he fought hard for the first 10 rounds, man. He fought really, really hard and he was
No,
going for the knockout the
I
whole
know,
time.
but after he got the knockdown with Cambosis, he had him for a while. He had him stumbling for a while. He could have finished him off, you know what I mean? But it
Yeah,
seemed like he just didn't have the gas to do it. It seemed like
yeah.
he just
The thing is, he was going for the knockout since the first round. So when you're going for the knockout, you're expending a lot of energy. So what happened was he was trying to knock him out the whole time. He finally dropped him in the 10th round and possibly could have got the knockout. It just so happened he was so tired that from doing all the work the first earlier 9 rounds that after he couldn't close the show after he hurt him. But that's just part of the
you
sport.
know,
I think he came in shape because I didn't. That wasn't the problem. The problem was the game plan. They didn't have one. That was the main problem. That's why he lost. He lost because of the game plan. There were a bunch of other reasons, but if you want to boil it down, is because 2 reasons. One, the game plan, and 2, Cambosos came ready to fight. He fought a great, great fight.
yeah, I give it to Cambosis too. I called you, man. I don't know if you remember me, man. I called you about the upset that I told you about. Teal not coming out with excuses and stuff like
No,
that. I don't know if you remember.
I remember, and I kept telling you, Teal's not gonna lose. Don't worry about it. And look how the tables turn, man.
Yeah, well, hopefully, man, he takes it like Canelo did with Mayweather. You know, hopefully this does something good to him and makes him take his career more serious, man. Surround himself with better people and maybe get somebody else in his team, or maybe search for for a better trainer. I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities, but he's a very good talent, man. A loss doesn't define him, man. That's all I want to say.
No, I agree. Just one loss ain't nothing, man. Like people are stuck on that Mayweather. Like everybody has to be undefeated. Everybody, and that's not how boxing used to work. And people were trying to make that the new way of it working, but it just doesn't work that way. Eventually, you're gonna run into either a tough
Yeah,
guy or some guy who knows how to figure out your style. And once you get one of those situations, or it's not your day, and you're not having a good day, it's like
and I see, after the fight happened and he tried to say that he won 10 rounds
yeah, he
out of the
looked like
whole
a fucking
fight, and
clown saying
people
that.
started booing him. Yeah, he. But I understand, a lot of boxers have done that before, and people try to compare him to Wilder, and it's not even close, man. Wilder, all those damn excuses, they were
No,
ridiculous, man. They
yeah,
made him look like a
Wilder was
fool,
way
man.
worse. Wilder accused his trainer of poisoning him. Like
Yeah, so to
Wilder,
me,
I would
Wilder,
never.
man,
That's something I can never forgive him for. What he did to Mark
yeah,
Breland.
with all due respect, man, Wilder to me, man, with all those excuses, he himself made himself into the clown of the century, man. So,
For
on
real,
some
man.
honest shit.
That was first. He said it was the suit. Then he said he was poisoned, which is the most egregious excuse he said. Then he said that Tyson Fury took the padding out the glove. Then he said that Tyson Fury had egg weights in his hand, and that's why he was hitting so hard. I was like, God damn! Like, how many fucking excuses are you gonna come up with?
Yeah, yeah.
It was bad. It was really, really bad,
I
especially that
have a
Mark
young
Breland
son.
one.
If I have a young son, and if I ever have a son, if my son ever plays sports, I'm gonna show him what not to be by showing him Walter's videos, how not to be a sore loser, man. Because it's
No,
fucking
I
funny,
mean
man.
it's okay to be a sore loser, like because that lets me know that you like to win. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm not okay with is when you do lose, is you don't accept responsibility and what you did wrong. Had Tyson
Exactly.
Fury, excuse me, had Deontay Wilder and Teofimo Lopez just said, "Hey man, at the end of the day, I came with a game plan." And I couldn't execute it because the other guy across the ring was just that much better than me. I'm gonna go back to the drawing board and I'm gonna try to make myself better. Hopefully, I can get a rematch. If I can't, God bless.
Hey,
Had
man.
they came across like that, they would have been so much more likable, and also they wouldn't be looked at the way some people are looking at him now, especially Wilder.
Yeah, I see that. Is there a way you could interview Senior, man? I haven't seen him in a while.
I don't have no contact with him, but if I ever get the chance to, I'm definitely with it. So I actually saw an interview with him yesterday. He accepted his Trainer of the Year speech. award
Yeah.
from last year. They did it this year because last year there wasn't no ceremony due to COVID. But yeah,
Yeah.
I saw him,
I
him
don't
and
know.
his son, and his son got Fighter of the Year from last year. He
Yeah. I'm curious. I'm curious to know what that thing with his wife, man. Because I've seen an interview that he said that he was splitting up from his wife. I don't know. That
yeah,
has a
he
lot to do,
is.
you know.
He,
If people want to admit it or not, I think it has a lot to do, bro.
yeah, no, I agree. I agree. So now that's something that I would accept somewhat as an excuse because if my wife was leaving me, and my girl's pregnant now, so like I'm just
And
I could
especially
somewhat.
the circumstances, you know, who knows what
Yeah, yeah,
happened, you
yeah.
know?
Like if my girl was to give birth to my son and then leave me 11 days later, bro, I would be in
Yeah, who knows
shambles,
what
man.
happened? Maybe she left him for someone else, or who knows? The
Who knows?
possibilities are
Nobody
endless,
knows
you
because
know?
it could be
Yeah,
that he got caught cheating and that's why she left
yeah,
leaving. We don't know.
exactly.
We don't know. So it's just
So
a lot of
that's why
like
I feel like he
I don't
wasn't
like to
focused.
guess on
But
stuff like that.
yeah, anyway, man, I'll let you go, man. I'm at work, man, but keep going with your work, man. I love your show, bro.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
All right, see you, man.
I see you. Yeah, man. My man Jorge, you always calling, showing support. The weigh-in started, by the way, right now. There's the undercards. I'm not really too curious as to anybody on the card. The only undercard fight where I'm really curious in is I guess the John Bowser fight. I like John Bowser, Puerto Rican guy from New Jersey, and the Jared Anderson heavyweight guy. A lot of people are high on him. I'm not too particularly high on him, but since other people are, I do want to kind of see more or less what I'm working with. But he's a heavyweight, so the weigh-in is like irrelevant. It's like, well, he's gonna come at 250 or 255 or 245. It's like at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. This is a heavyweight fight, So those, I'm only really gonna just worry about the Lomachenko weigh-in. But the undercard ain't bad though. The undercard ain't bad. If he was hurt that bad, he shouldn't have been in the ring then. Loma had his excuses also and I gave two shits about Loma's excuses also. No, it's the same thing. I like with the Teofimo, I understand he was dealing with stuff and I believe it. I may believe some of them, put it like that. I'll put it like that. But I can't feel sorry for you when this is a contact sport, when this is a combat sport. Excuse me. Well, it's contact as well. It's contact and a combat sport where you're constantly running. So that's putting pressure on your joints. You're constantly sparring. So you're constantly either getting beat up or beating somebody up. You're constantly punching the bag. So you're constantly hitting your hands. There's a lot of injuries you can get. You could hurt your shoulder hitting a punching bag or doing mitts. You could roll your ankle running. It's like a lot of things, and a lot of fighters fight through it. This isn't something uncommon, like fighting through an injury. It really isn't. It really, really isn't. Yo, by the way, these ring card girls are very beautiful. I'll just say that. I'm not gonna get too graphic. And they're not even dressed like super sexual. They're wearing long pants and long sleeve shirts, but they look very pretty. Very, very pretty girls. Yeah. Yeah, Wilder's talking about retirement now. I saw that. But honestly, what is there to do? You were champion. You made what, 10 title defenses? You are known as one of the hardest punchers in boxing history. You made a lot of money in those three Tyson Fury fights. I'm pretty sure he made at least 10 million per fight. That's 30 million right there. And he's from Alabama. I believe he's from Alabama. Like, yo, you know what $30 million is in Alabama? That's like 50 billion here in New York, probably. Like houses out there probably cheap. And you already know he probably already bought a house. And by the way, that's 30 million. That's not including the other fights with Stavern and Areola and the two fights with Luis Ortiz. And there's a bunch of fights he had where he made a couple, maybe a mil or two, a couple, more than that. So he's good financially, so he could retire. And to be honest, he can't beat Tyson Fury. We've seen it 3 times, and I think all 3 times Tyson Fury pretty much proved that he's the better fighter. So unless he wants to hold out for a Joshua fight, that'd be nice. I still believe T.O. beats Kambosos when he's at his best, but it's no excuse for that fight on that day. I feel exactly the same way, Angel. Exactly the same way. What odds do you give Commey in this fight? I give him a puncher's chance. I give him a puncher's chance because he has 30 wins, 27 of them are by KO. And again, he just knocked out Jackson Marinez, who, if we all honest, he really did beat Rolly. So he knocked him out, but actually beat him pretty easy. Kind of beat him into submission. And he definitely not doing that to Loma, but you know, Loma's a small guy. So if they get caught in an exchange, boom, he could be out. You know, who knows? I'm not predicting that, but he definitely has a puncher's chance, man. He definitely has a puncher's chance. He's a hard hitter. I wouldn't want, I wouldn't, I guess you meant want kind of fight. Hold on. I wouldn't what kind of fighter Wilder could have been if he grew up boxing and didn't pick it up at such a late age. I agree. That would be interesting. But what it's like nobody ever took the time to teach him how to throw a straight right hand. Because his right hands were always. If he were to just straighten that out, the fact that he hit so hard, he would have broken a lot of noses and gotten, you know, maybe gotten more knockouts quicker. Because a lot of times those punches, people come. He would knock people out sometimes with this part of the glove. Like if you see when he knocked out Stavern, that's pretty much where he was landing with like kind of like this part of his glove. He wasn't really catching people with the knuckles. And you can only imagine if he was really landing straight. Like you remember the straight right hand he caught Luis Ortiz with and knocked him out? That fight right there was like quick. It was like boom, it's just quick straight right hand. And I feel like if he would have learned how to develop a straight right hand better, he could have got more knockouts and probably in a quicker fashion. No, all good, brother. All good, brother. It's all right, man. Like I made out. I knew what you were saying. I knew what you were saying. And plus, a lot of times it'd be autocorrect. One time I was on, listen to this story. One time I was on a rapper's IG live. He's an underground rapper from Philly. And he was on live. And I was like, yo, I really fuck with your music, homie. And when I pressed send, it came out as, yo, I really fuck with your music, honey. It auto-corrected homie into honey. So he read it and he was like, honey. He was like, yo, you a dude. Why you calling me honey? Then I rewrote. I was like, bro, I said homie. This autocorrect is crazy. And then people in the chat were roasting me. And then so after people in chat were roasting me, and then he read it and he was like, nah, it's all good. Like, I can see how that can happen. And you know, the live kept going. But I was like, yo, like, had he not let, you know, because sometimes they don't read every single comment. Had he not read my second comment, he would have been like, yo, this dude, Broadway Joel, just tried to hit on me on the IG live. Like, what was that? Like, you know what I'm saying? That punch that dropped Ortiz, the exact punch he dropped Fury with in the third round. Nah, I think with the punch he dropped Ortiz with was a shorter, just straight right hand. He just let it go from right here. Just boop. Didn't cock it back how he usually does. Didn't load up, you know, throw it like from the side. He just threw it from right here. And it was like he had him on the ropes and just went boop. It was crazy how you saw the sweat just bounce off his head. It was like poof. It was like somebody just popped a water bottle or something. Hold on. Oh shit. This dude, they call him Pretty Pablo. So one of I know. Well, I don't know him. My father knows him. He's fighting on this card. They just did the weigh-in. Yeah, we just waiting on to see when Lomachenko and Commey comes on. I gotta go to work soon, so luckily they running through these undercards quick, and I want to see what goes on. Yo, by the way, guys, if you guys want to call, yo, Carlos Montes, what's up, brother? Yeah, man, keep you learning boxing and you learning from your school, man. Do both. You multitasking. Yeah, if you guys want to call in, feel free. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. Just click the link. It takes you to a website. You can either just use your voice or FaceTime me, whichever one you prefer. All right. Let me see. Then there must be a lot of fights because I just keep seeing people weighing. Oh, Xander Zayas is not weighing in. Yo, type in the chat. What do y'all think of Xander Zayas? I like him, but I haven't seen him against anybody who I'm like, okay, this guy should test him. So I'm not one of those people that see a guy against, lower class journeyman and can tell right away if the guy's going to be special, unless I'm familiar with his amateur background. But I like to give my predictions and give my stamps of approval after a guy like proves himself against somebody solid. But what do y'all think of Xander Zayas? I like his swag, man. I like his swag. Like he scored a knockdown like it was like 2 fights ago. He scored the knockdown, just looked at him and just mean mugged him like, like I don't know. I like his swag. I can't say necessarily how is he, one of the best? Is he gonna can bring Puerto Rico back? I don't know. I can't say all that. But he is tall. He's only what? How old is Xander Zayas? How old is he? Because Xander, I know he's young, and he already has 11 fights. Damn, he's super young. He's only 19, and he has 11 fights. And I know his last fight was at 154, so he's 5'10", and he's fighting at 154. So that means eventually he's going to be a middleweight. I don't think there's ever been like a solid Puerto Rican middleweight. I know I know that what's his name? Miguel Cotto was lineal champion at middleweight. But as far as like he didn't have a long reign, it wasn't like he, was like a legit, undisputed or something like that. I don't think there's ever been a top middleweight Puerto Rican champion. A guy who's reigned multiple times, guy who's unified. So that would be dope if this guy can do it. If Xander Zayas can do it. Oh, wait, I'm bugging. Felix Trinidad was middleweight champion when he beat, well, he wasn't the lineal, but he beat William Joppy, I believe, for one of the straps. Well, I know for one of the straps. He was middleweight champion. So, all right. So, Felix Trinidad. But he didn't have a long reign. So, if Xander Zayas could become a middleweight champion, he could be a long reigning middleweight champion. He could become the greatest Puerto Rican middleweight of all time. He has that opportunity. Oh, by the way, on this undercard of the Lomachenko fight, Nico Ali Walsh, who's Muhammad Ali's grandson, is on the undercard. I don't know if that interests any of y'all. As well as Xander Zayas I already mentioned, John Bowles I already mentioned, and Jared Anderson. So this is a solid undercard. Like, I'm going to the fight. I'm getting my money's worth. I'm gonna get there early too. A lot of people they go to a fight and they just go for the last 2-3 fights. I think I might go for most of the fights. I may not get there as soon as the doors open, to be honest with you, but I may get there, I think the doors open at 6:30. So I may get there like at 7:30. Watch some of these fights, man. Nico Ali Walsh, Jared Anderson, Xander Zayas, and then, of course, the main event, Lomachenko. Who doesn't want to see Lomachenko? I just hope Lomachenko has a really good performance and he shows his skills, especially since I'm there live. I want to see that footwork. Like the performance he had against Nakatani, that was something special, man. That was real special. Like he just came from all angles and just beat him up. And I think he won every round and stopped them. And these Japanese dudes, man, they're tough, man. They don't come to quit. They always come and they give their full money's worth. Whatever their paycheck is, they always give, they earn it. Like, you remember the fight Takashi Miura versus, I believe, Francisco Vargas on the undercard of Cotto Canelo? That was a war. A war. Hold on one second. Walsh seems to be fighting every month. Damn, I thought I just seen him. Yeah, you saw him on the undercard of Shakur Stevenson. He was there. Also, he he's not fighting nobody who's like, oh my God. And that's what he needs. He needs a lot of these fights where if he's going to develop into something solid, he needs a lot of these fights where he's fighting somebody who he should beat. And then he should beat him because that's how they moved Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.'s career. A lot of people were not high on him, but they would just throw him on Oscar De La Hoya's undercards, throw him on Mayweather's undercards, Pacquiao's undercards, just throw him, bury him in the undercards. And he had, I believe he was like 45-0 before he got his first title shot. So, they like to keep guys who are not necessarily that experienced. They like to keep those guys active. And as they should, because he didn't have a long amateur career. And the only way to really learn how to fight is to fight, man. Is to get in the ring and fight. This is going to be a repeat of Nakatani fight because Commey's weakness is movement, and that's Loma's specialty. Yeah, Commey doesn't seem to handle necessarily. Let me put it like this. I'm trying to figure it out. Commey sometimes defense is just this. It's just to cover up. It's just to cover up. And if you're just covering up, at some points you lose vision of where the fighter is. And Lomachenko is known for using angles. So if while your hands is up, you can't see Lomachenko, he could jump over to this side, hit you with 2-3 piece. And then when you go to adjust and be here, he gonna jump this side and hit you with 2-3 piece and then jump right out. It's gonna be like, it could get real ugly for Commey. But the reason why I give him a chance is because he's a puncher. If he can punch while Oscar De La Hoya is punching, Oscar De La Hoya, you hear me? While Vasyl Lomachenko is punching, and he could get him out of there. He's a puncher, or he could hurt him, and then maybe make Lomachenko a lot more hesitant to just run in. By the way, they're doing the weigh-in now for Jared Anderson. He's fighting a Ukrainian guy with one loss, and Jared Anderson is undefeated. So after this weigh-in, it should be Lomachenko, and then that's when I'll play the volume for that. I can't screen share it. I don't own the rights. Sorry, guys. Commey quicker and more powerful than Nakatani. I see Loma countering Commey's right hand easily. He drops his left horribly when throwing right hand. I see what you're saying. But to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Lomachenko gets dropped. Again, this guy has power. Lomachenko's a small lightweight, like, let's be honest. And yeah, he can drop him. He can drop him easy if he catches him. But that's the thing. If he catches him, Lomachenko is somebody who has great footwork, who's super fast, who has experience, who has good reflexes, who has, he's experienced. He's a 2-time gold medalist. I believe he had like almost 400 fights in the amateurs and only lost one and won 2 gold medals. Like, the guy is really that good. When people try to play Lomachenko, I'm like, yo, you guys are just haters. A lot of times it be racist, man. A lot of people don't want to give credit to like somebody from another country, but why are you hating? Like, just because the dude's not American doesn't mean anything. I don't know. Like me, I'm different, man. I don't care where you from. If you can fight, you can fight. And in my opinion, he can fight. My opinion, Lomachenko's a great fighter. Future Hall of Famer, to be honest with you. 3-time division world champion. He had 3 out of the 4 belts in the lightweight division. 2-time gold medalist. He has wins over Gary Russell, Rigondeaux, Pedraza, Linares. A lot of people want to shit on his resume, but it's like, bro, like, look at his resume. Like, why? There's nothing to play about that one. All right, guys, they're about to start announcing Lomachenko. So if I get quiet, I just played the volume. So if y'all hear something, that's a Lomachenko weigh-in that they're introducing him. Let's see. They're introducing Richard Commey now, so we'll see if he makes weight. I already see Lomachenko in the back. He's in his underwear and he's just wearing a shirt, so it's kind of awkward. But it's a weigh-in, kind of expect expect that. Right now, Comey's undressing himself, getting down to his underwear, making his way to the scale. What the hell he has on his head? Yo, Comey has like, I don't know, those are like little dreads, but he dyed them blonde, like the tips blonde. I don't know, man. He might get knocked down the first round with that haircut. Let's see. 134.2 for Richard Comey. So he made weight. He's under the weight. I'm surprised. 0.8 pounds under the lightweight limit. Let's see. Lomachenko. He has a necklace on, which is interesting. You know, it's a weigh-in every 134.4. So he actually came in heavier than Vasyl Lomachenko, than Richard Comey. That's interesting. Y'all find that interesting? Makes his head easier target. That's right, Angel. Yeah, I don't know. That was weird, man. It was weird. Let's see if I could. Nah, I can't screenshot. I was tempted to, but they'll take my page. They'll take my page down because I don't own the rights to the stream. So I'm not gonna screen share. But right now, Comey he has pants on and he's taking pictures by himself to the camera. Lomachenko just put his pants and sneakers on, and now they're doing the face off. Oh no, they're both facing the cameras. And yeah, they're facing the camera. Yeah, but honestly, both these guys are like true gentlemen. Neither of these guys are real trash talkers. So I doubt anything happens. But you never know. You never know. You want to live in the moment. All right, now they're doing a face off. All right. It's not intense at all. They both seem friendly. Not yeah, Comey just smiled at him. Lomachenko just smiled at him. They said something, laughed, they shook hands. Yeah, they just too friendly. All right, yeah. All right. So the weigh-in's over. I think they may do an interview afterwards. Let me see. If they do an interview afterwards, I'll see if I can play the volume. But yeah, no, it looks like they're both friendly. Honest, and to be honest, trash talkers and all that, that's usually Americans and people from the UK. Like British people and Americans are the ones who really do the trash talking. Usually guys from the Ukraine or Puerto Rico or Mexico, they're not real trash talkers. They're real like, but us Americans, you know, we like to talk trash. Think about it. All the best trash talkers, where they from? I guess, you know, Ricardo Mayorga was a trash talker. He was an American. He was from Nicaragua, I want to say. But the best trash talk is what? James Toney, Floyd Mayweather, Adrian Broner, Muhammad Ali. You know, Hector Camacho, although he was Puerto Rican, he was raised in New York, so he was raised around American culture. So he was a trash talker too. It's like all the trash talkers, think about it. They're all either British or American. It's crazy. So there's between a person from Ghana and a person from Ukraine. That's just not their style. I don't know any Ukrainian fighter or any Ghanaian fighter who's a trash talker. I really don't. I can't name you one. Maybe you guys stand corrected and Ike Corte was this crazy trash talker, but I doubt it. I don't think Azuma Nelson was either. I don't remember Vitaly or Vladimir Klitschko trash talking. I don't, that's just an American or British thing. But guys, if you guys want to call in, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. Just click the link. It'll take you to a website. You can either just use your voice or it's FaceTime, whichever one you prefer. Yeah, Mayorga was definitely disrespectful. Mayorga blew smoke in Mosley's face and then smacked his wife's ass. Like, Mayorga, I like Mayorga, but that was the one press conference where I was like, I can't fucking. You can't be touching other women that's not your wife, or like that's sexual harassment, sexual assault is literally a crime. It's not even like, I'm not even being funny. Like, it's literally a crime. So besides him smacking Mosley's ass, and he ended up paying the price for that because he ended up getting knocked out. Besides that, I like Mayorga. Mayorga, I used to love his trash talk. Like he really disrespected Cotto. He used to really talk trash, and he used to make the fights entertaining. I just wish he wasn't get he had a better chin and had more discipline. Those are the two things I wish, because he he got stopped a bunch of times. He got stopped by Cotto, Trinidad, by Mosley, by who else he got stopped by? I believe he got stopped by Oscar De La Hoya as well. So like he if he was a better fighter, because he was a good fighter, he was actually lineal welterweight champion. He beat Vernon Forrest twice, and one of them by knockout. So he was a good fighter. It's just for whatever reason he couldn't focus in. He was more of an entertainer than he was a boxer. I feel like the boxing was secondary to him, but I enjoyed his trash talk. I enjoyed him very much. He was promoted by Don King as well, which was made the press conferences even more interesting. When he fought Cotto at 154, one, I was surprised he made the weight, and two, he had a little bit more of a success than I thought he was gonna have. I felt like he landed a couple hard shots on Cotto, where Cotto always lacked head movement, and I felt like it really showed in that fight. It really showed that he lacked head movement, but he ended up stopping him, so that's all that matters. You know, man, he ruined Forrest's career. He was so good. Yeah, no, I agree, man. I like Mayorga, except that smacking Mosley's wife's ass, that was not cool, man. Like, I'm not condoning that whatsoever. So I was a fan of everything else except that, because when he's blowing smoke in somebody's face, and we all know that that's disrespectful. You do that to anybody in the street, you could get knocked out. But the reason why I was okay with that in the setting of a press conference is because we know he's promoting the fight. Is he's making the fans go, "Oh my God, look how disrespectful he is. He's blowing smoke in the guy's face." Yeah, that was. I remember he was pulling mad hard, blowing the smoke in Mosley's face, and Mosley smacked the cigarette out of his mouth. I remember that. Yo, not for nothing, man. Mayorga was that dude, man. He was a crazy dude. Interesting guy in boxing history. By the way, they just James Dolan, who's the owner of the New York Knicks and the owner of the Madison Square Garden building, just gave Bob Arum a painting of the Madison Square Garden lit up, and it says, I believe it says "Happy Birthday, Bob Arum," but it's of the Madison Square Garden. Yeah, this is very interesting. Two old rich dudes. Yeah. But let me know, guys. If you guys want to call in, click the link at the top of the chat. It's pinned, takes you to a website. If you click it, at that website, you can either call me just using voice, or you can call me using your FaceTime, whichever one you prefer. But what do you guys think of Lomachenko weighing in heavier than Commey? I was not expecting that. Oh, and by the way, I've heard Lomachenko get asked multiple times if he's moving back down to 130, and he says no. He's trying to move to 135, and that his goal is to be undisputed at 135. He doesn't want nothing else. He was like, people asked him about a rematch with Tio. Tio says he's moving up to 140, and he said if Tio wants a rematch, he has to stay at 135. So meaning the fight's not going to happen. So people were like, oh, but you're not going to chase him up to 140. He goes, no. He goes, the reason why I wanted a rematch with Tio is because I wanted to be undisputed lightweight. Now that he's not longer undisputed, like that's a fight I'm interested in make, because there's history and we could probably make money. But I'm not chasing him up to 140 because I want to be undisputed lightweight champion. He goes, my goal when I hit the Olympics was to win a gold medal. My goal right now is to be undisputed lightweight, which is admirable, man. He's going for the greatness. He's going for the titles. And we'll see, because he may have to fight George Kambosos next. He may have to fight him, because he's right now the WBO #1 ranked fighter, I believe. And if he's mandated, then Camboso's hands are tied unless he vacates the belt, which I doubt he'll do. That would look bad on his part if he beats Tio, then vacates the WBO to fight Devin to get the WBC to then have to fight Loma. Well, I guess if he looks at it like that, Also, you know who else might be his WBA mandatory? It might be Tank, because Tank is a WBA regular champion. So, I mean, I doubt Tank takes that fight, but he might be his mandatory. We'll see. I don't know. What do y'all think? Who in the ideal world, realistically, like let's talk realistic. Who do you want to see Tank fight next? Again, be realistic. Haney fight next, Cambosos fight next, and assuming Lomachenko beats Commey, who do you want to see all four of those guys next? Right in the chat. I'm curious. Because ideally, I want to see Cambosos versus Devin Haney just to settle that that whole undisputed situation. Rolly been saying he's Camboso's mandatory. I mean, he's the WBA interim champion, which don't get me started on the WBA. So I don't know. Maybe he is, but from what I understand, the WBA regular is the one who is going to consolidate with the WBA super. Again, this is all stupid, so I don't know why I'm talking about the WBA. But the original reason why Rolly was going to fight Gervonta Tank Davis was because he was a WBA intern. Devin. Gervonta Davis is the WBA regular, so we're going to consolidate there. And then the winner of that fight was going to be the mandatory for the whoever was the WBA super champion, which right now is George Cambosos. So I don't know what's that situation like, to be honest with you. I really don't. I wish I had answers because this is an interesting part of boxing history in a sense, like the WBA is trying to consolidate these belts, but it seems like they're only doing it in certain divisions, or they're only doing it with fighters we don't care about. Like it would be like one fighter we care about against a total bum. But when it's, Gervonta Tank Davis and he has to be mandated for George Cambosos, and that's a fight everybody will be interested in, seems like that's something they'll drag their feet on. And they're never on the right side of boxing history, man, those people. Haney versus Tank, Loma versus Cambosos. And I'm assuming you mean winner faces each other. Damn, that would be beautiful, man, because Haney, I'm not sold on Haney. I don't know. Like, I'm not saying he's a bum. I'm not saying he doesn't have talent, but like people trying to make it seem like he's one of the greats. And it's like, whoa, I don't know about that. I don't know if he's like, like I see what people saw in Tank to make him one of the four kings. I see what people saw in Ryan to make him one of the four kings. I see what people saw in Tio to make him one of the four kings. It's like with Devin, I'm like, I don't see it. I'm not saying he doesn't have it. He does have talent, but I don't see four kings type comparison. No. Like I almost feel like they should have excluded him out and added Lomachenko. Because Lomachenko, I see something special in Lomachenko. Lomachenko could fight. Lomachenko could definitely fight. Yeah, people have been trying to rewrite history and he's not that good and this and that. And it's like, nah, my man. He's that good. You just hate Tio, so you're trying to diminish Loma, so Tio's win of Loma looks bad. I get it, bro. I'm up to y'all fucking little mad scientist shit that y'all be doing to try to discredit fighters. I'm hip to it, man. Like, y'all not playing me. Y'all not playing me at all. Yeah, motherfuckers be on some shit, man. Like, that's one thing I get mad about fans, man. Like, sometimes we all ask, the best got to fight the best. Or, we We want to see real matches. We want to see when we want to see them and stuff like that. Tio and Lomachenko both gave you the best lightweights. That was 1 versus 2. There was no argument who was over them. There was no other better lightweight. Tank was better. No. Resume is what makes you better. Lomachenko had 3 of the belts, and what's his name? Teofimo had 1. So it's like they fought each other. It was a close fight. Tio won legitimately. And now y'all trying to say, like, oh, yeah, but Lomachenko wasn't shit. And Teofimo just lost to Camboso, so he's not shit. And it's like, whoa, like 1 loss for either guy doesn't make them. And I know whatever that wasn't Lomachenko's first loss, but still, like, we have to acknowledge that these guys took risks, and that's why they got a loss. Especially in the Lomachenko side. He took a risk taking on a young, hungry fighter who was coming off a second-round knockout of Richard Commey, who was the IBF champion. Like, come on, man. We can't be so hard on these fighters. Shakur better than Haney in my eyes. I totally agree. And by the way, Haney said that he's having trouble making 135. He said he was real. I remember seeing his post-fight interview. He was saying that it was really hard for him to make 135. So it looks like he's moving up soon. So that fight with Kambosos or Lomachenko or Tank need to happen soon. Shakur needs to move up. Nah, he just moved up from 126 to 130. So he would be significantly smaller, especially fighting a guy like Devin. If Tio stays at 135, those are big guys. Now, Loma and Tank seem to be smaller guys, but we have seen Tank fight at 140 and knock out Mario Barrios, who at the time I want to say was a top 10 junior lightweight, right? I'm junior welterweight. I could be wrong on that, but I think so. Joel, you want to talk about Floyd using silicone on his hands? Why didn't he fight no one where else but just in Vegas? I don't know, silicone. I don't know what that means, man. I know that's not what you spelled, but I meant that meant silicone. But there was a rumor that he was using some kind of numbing product to numb his hands, that it was only approved of in Vegas, which I guess you could look at it as an advantage, but Vegas is the capital of boxing. Like, I feel like Madison Square Garden is the Mecca, but the capital of boxing is Vegas. So if Vegas allows it, I don't have a problem with it, to be honest with you. Shakur still has big fights with Colbert and Valdez at 130 first. Well, as far as the Colbert fight, although as us fans, we would love to see it, I doubt it happens because the promotional issues. This guy, what's his name? Shakur is with Top Rank and Colbert is with PBC, and they don't do business together, unfortunately. All right, so this is Floyd Mayweather's record. So he started off his career in Vegas, then Albuquerque, Vegas, Grand Rapids, his hometown. Most of his fights are in Vegas, but he's fought all over: Los Angeles, Atlantic City, Miami, Grand Rapids again, Vegas, Detroit, Grand Rapids, San Francisco, Grand Rapids, Atlantic City, Miami, Atlantic City, Portland, Vegas. Then it was just all Vegas from here. All of these fights are Vegas. With the exception, I guess if you want to say the Logan Paul fight wasn't in Vegas. Yeah, I mean, I really don't care about that, to be honest with you. Floyd didn't want to fight Winky Wright and Paul Williams. I can name more. Okay, I mean, what? Like, really, that's what we doing? That's what we doing today? We hating on Mayweather? Like, yo, the dude's retired. Yo, Lomachenko's fighting tomorrow, bro. Let's move on with the past. That guy's retired. That's it. All right, you don't like him. Good for you, bro. Shakur versus Valdez is must see fight. That's the fight I want to see. That honestly, that I believe. Let me look at the Ring Magazine rankings. That has to be 1 and 2. That has to be 1 and 2. And by the way, Stevenson got a big following. I feel like he comes up a lot in my chat. Him and Edgar, Edgar Berlanga and Teofimo are the 3 that come up the most. Yeah. Hold on 1 second. This is interesting. Hold on 1 second. By the way, guys, I'm about to dip soon. I gotta go to work, so join me while y'all can. And if y'all want to call in, y'all better call in soon. All right, so this is the Ring Magazine rankings. Now, I don't see Oscar Valdez. Did they take him out because he tested positive for a banned substance? I don't know. And Miguel Bachelt got knocked out against Oscar Valdez. So he's ranked number 2, and Oscar Valdez is not here. Anybody? I don't know. I don't know nothing about this. And Conceição lost to Oscar Valdez. I don't think this is updated. When was this updated? Does it say? It's December 4th. Today's the 10th. Well, then, yeah, he should be here. I guess because he tested positive, but point is, that would be the number 1 guy versus the number 2 guy for me. Maybe this is wrong, Miguel Bachelt, because Miguel Bachelt is moving to 135 anyways. So maybe Oscar Valdez should be here, and there's 1 versus 2. This is Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez. I think that's what it is, to be honest with you. But yeah. What do you guys think, man? What do you guys think Shakur should do? Who do you should fight next? Bob is getting close to the end. He needs to make big fights while he's still alive. Yo, that's weird. I mean, that's true. That's true. I mean, that's very, very true what you're saying. He's 90 years old. Yo, it's crazy. Like, he gives these interviews and it's like he's as sharp as a thumbtack. Like, he knows exactly what he's doing. He remembers stuff. He can quote stuff. Like, he does real good. He does real good. I got nothing bad to say about Bob in terms of his cognitive issues, but you're right. I don't know how much years he got left. He's 90 years old. And he's flying from New York to Vegas, from Vegas to LA, from LA to Dallas, from Dallas back to Vegas. And it's like, oh man, like that has to wear on you, but apparently not. 90 years old, been in the business definitely over 50 years. And this is a stressful business, dealing with managers, promoters, sanctioning bodies, bad decisions, your fighter getting knocked out, your fighter hating you, talking bad about you in the media, somebody pulling out of a fight on you. This is a lot of stress happens in this business. And for him to do it be 90 years old and have been doing it, 40, 50 years, it's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. And he's a Hall of Famer for a reason. And as much as we want to complain about old Bob, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. But all right, guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. I gotta go to work. So but thank you guys for coming through. They both made weight, both Lomachenko and Richard Commey. Believe it or not, Lomachenko came in a couple ounces heavier than Commey, who's taller and naturally bigger than Lomachenko. But hey, we'll see. Did Commey drain himself too much, or is he fighting at the right weight? Does Lomachenko handles Commey's power? Does Commey handles Lomachenko's angles? I don't know. All I know is I will be there tomorrow, and I can't wait for the fight. All right, guys. Thanks for pulling up. Peace.